Hey, everybody. Welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 258. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the SkyLounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the SkyLounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 258. Clogged heart of Avid sports viewership, balls in your court. But as we know, boys and girls, there is a certain brand of sports ball coming back this week that doesn't take place on the court, but it takes place on the field. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. NFL football, motherfuckers, is back! It's gonna be back on Thursday, and god damn it, I'm excited. I'm excited that football is back, but you know what I'm also excited about? Piggy Skin Picks, kids. That's right. So, on the YouTube channel at the SkyLounge, boys and girls, I have been doing something called the Piggy Skin Picks for the last 2 years, going into year 3, where we pick the winners and losers of the upcoming NFL week. And that fucking segment, called Piggy Skin Picks, will be up on YouTube every Wednesday, and I just can't wait. It just tells me that football is back. And what I'm thinking about doing for the podcast every week on Tuesday is do a full NFL recap episode, go through each and every one of the games that happened throughout the week, kind of discuss it in, small time frames here and there, and just keep the love of football alive through the season. It's 17 fucking weeks of glory. And then postseason shit, which is just even better. God damn it, man. And boys and girls, in the Piggy Skin Picks, I'm going to be fucking talking about some gambling odds here and there. And probably tell you what I'm putting down for the week. And damn, real quick, you do have the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. As far as I can remember, just a couple hours back looking at the odds, they had Kansas City Chiefs at minus 9.5, which seems utterly ridiculous at times. But here's the thing with Andy Reid. That man does not lose in September, although I would say the spread is a bit too much. So if anything, I would probably go with the plus 9.5 if it's still readily available, before Thursday. And probably, if I can recall, the over was at like 51 or 50.5. I would probably go with the over on that shit because I know defense isn't really going to do much for either side in Houston or Kansas. And you got two quarterbacks of, very high caliber on both ends, right? I mean, you got Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, and I know all the fucking Kansas City Chiefs fans are going to go all ape shit, like, hey, I can't believe you're fucking dissing Patrick Mahomes. We gave him all that goddamn money. That means relax, motherfucker. I know Patrick Mahomes is great, but guess what? Just because you got money don't mean that you're all that great. Except Patrick Mahomes. His shit wasn't even money. His shit was just a fucking power move by the Kansas City Chiefs saying, hey, this guy is now the face of the league. Fuck you. That's what that whole shit was. Money speaks in the NFL. It absolutely does. And when teams extend players and, fork up the money, they're doing it for good reasons. And the Pittsburgh Steelers locking up Cam Hayward for a 4-year contract, equating to about $65.6 million. Seems pretty good. I mean, he's a top lineman, and honestly, the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to fortify their already great defense from last season and keep it going. I still question that offense, to be fair, but if the Steelers can at least get a, decent Big Ben Rapisberger hopped up enough fucking pain medicine, maybe he'll get shit done. Who the hell knows? But what team I'm very high on to do well for themselves, even though they're a division rival, is the Arizona Cardinals. With all the fucking money and personnel they brought in, money they're throwing around and personnel they're bringing in, I expect good results. And the Cardinals signing up DeAndre Hopkins to a 2-year contract extension for $54.5 million, $27.25 million per year, and $47.25 million guaranteed. $47.25 guaranteed. Of course that shit's guaranteed, son. But $47.25 million is guaranteed to DeAndre Hopkins, who was traded during the offseason from the Houston Texans, is looking to, help the Cardinals get somewhere. Maybe if they're like their other Arizona counterparts in the Suns and, Coyotes, maybe they peter out. But there's a lot of expectations for the Arizona Cardinals this season, and maybe they get to double-digit wins, but it is going to be tough, especially that NFC West. But lots of teams trying to get tough by adding, late additions. And obviously, last time we talked about Jadeveon Clowney being part of the Tennessee Titans, and I think that's a brilliant move for the Titans. But there are other teams where they add moves, and I think, okay, just kind of check mark, but I don't really give a shit. Like Adrian Peterson signing up with the Detroit Lions. Oh, poor AP. I wish him all the best, but the Detroit Lions, man. I don't really. No, not really. Don't really have any faith in them to be competent, or even post up 9 wins. They just never do. And even if they do, what are you going to do with that shit? Boast that you didn't suck? Hooray. Jesus Christ. At least with the Philadelphia Eagles now, they're not stuck in that, we don't have a Super Bowl, so we're still going to be bitter shit about it. There's a bit of that winning arrogance factor in Philadelphia now. And adding Josh McCown as the oldest practice quarterback just tells me that, there's a lot of ire and criticism towards Carson Wentz. I mean, maybe from the fan side, but in my mind, I'm thinking there are some personnel in the organization that isn't really crazy about Carson Wentz. But yeah, Josh McCown coming back, that definitely helps out the Philadelphia Eagles, just in case, Wentz or, Jordan Love. And is it Jordan Love? Jalen Hurts, I apologize. If any of those two cats, fall out, I mean, McCown still got it. And I remember he was actually a pretty decent factor in the wild card playoff matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. So McCown for the win on the practice squad, man. And speaking of the Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks at Shaquem Griffin back to the practice squad. As I told you, boys and girls, I mean, he went unclaimed off waivers, and he is back with Seattle Seahawks. Again, not surprised at all. Our linebacker situation, I mean, we have the Bobby Wagner jersey right behind me, but the linebacker situation of the Seattle Seahawks was pretty stacked. So wasn't really surprised that happened. But what's surprising to me within the NFL is just this stupid wokeness that they're going for. And one of the stupidest fucking things that one of NFL's partners are trying to do in EA is bring back Colin Kaepernick in Madden games. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to go to either Football References, NFL.com to look up stats for Colin Kaepernick, and then actually watch game tape, and then tell me that's an actual good quarterback. Somebody who hasn't played in the league for years, I mean, and you're telling me this guy, as early as fucking last year, just a couple months ago, you got all these woke assholes telling me that he deserves a fucking spot in the NFL. But guess what, bitch? This dude lost his fucking starting spot to Blaine Gabbert! Blaine Gabbert, motherfucker. This dipshit who wears little pick socks with little police outfits on them and say Cuba is more freer than the United States. You're a race-baiting retard, Colin Kaepernick. Why don't you fucking take your Chinese slave Nike money and run the fuck out of here, you fucking asshole? Jesus fucking Christ. Colin Kaepernick doesn't deserve shit. All right? If he wants to, he should just leave the United States. This piece of shit slams America, calls it racist, doesn't even want to fucking talk about the national anthem. And strangely enough, a couple of years back he did. And now because BLM is just fucking pocketing his goddamn money, this cocksucker is just going on and on and on. It's like, can you just get the fuck out of this country then? Why don't you go to Cuba? Why don't you go to fucking China? Why don't you go to North Korea, Colin Kaepernick, you goddamn piece of shit? Such an unbelievable fucking asshole, man. Seriously. I mean, the world is full of assholes, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. There are normal people that just want to live their goddamn lives, and there are assholes like Colin Kaepernick who are just miserable fucking scumbags. Capitalizing off of the misery of other people. And you know what? In a way, sometimes some of the worst people in sports have that trait, and it's just disgusting to watch. And when I see woke retards praising that shit, I get irritated. Sports isn't about who is, the blackest, who is the most woke, who is the most sensitive. No, it's the meritocracy. It's about who is the best within the field. And if you're not the best, you can get the fuck out of here. Colin Kaepernick, you can fucking jump off a goddamn bridge for all I care. You're not a goddamn football player. If you're an influencer, you're doing a fucking piss poor job because you're influencing people to try to tune out of the NFL even though you haven't fucking played a down of football in 4 or 5 years. You're a goddamn piece of shit. And honestly, I hope, as a football fan, you get nothing coming to you from the NFL. Seriously, you're a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. There's certain athletes, man, I just can't fucking stand. I just can't really deal with their shit. I mean, especially, guys like Colin Kaepernick who do stupid shit off the fucking field, and you just have to call them out. But, there are certain athletes I just don't like them because of their on-field excellence. I mean, talk about the meritocracy. And as much as I can hate somebody, I mean, I can still recognize their talent. Someone like Djokovic, who obviously number one in the world of tennis for a fucking reason. And even though I'm a Roger Federer fan and I don't really like Djokovic, I respect the hell out of Djokovic, especially the last 2-3 years where he has just been dunking on each and every fucking Open. But my God, in the U.S. Open just a couple days ago, Djokovic kind of lost his mind. He gets kicked out of the U.S. Open after hitting a judge with a ball. Now, I only saw a small clip of this, and I don't really understand the full context and the intricacies within, tennis and all that shit. And I'm pretty sure McEnroe has a whole history behind that and the rulings. But with that ball hit, Djokovic is officially out of the U.S. Open. No Djokovic, no Federer, no Nadal. Oh my God, that's crazy. And there were talks, of course, that Nadal was going to probably come back. Reports only and possibly gossip. But if you do, you're an asshole, bro. I respect you, Nadal, but if you come back like this, you can go fuck yourself for all I care. But Djokovic, man, what the fuck were you thinking? What are you thinking, dude? He's one of the fucking best, and he just gets kicked out for hitting a judge with a ball. Man, that is just wild. It's absolutely wild. But sometimes in the world of tennis, man, just crazy shit happens. And it does. One of the realm crazy shit happens in is the world of hockey. NHL, National Hockey League. And NHL awards have been announced. More awards actually have been announced. The King Clancy Memorial Trophy has been given to Matt Dumba for pushing Marxism. Yeah, not going to lie about that. You're pushing communism, Matt Dumba, so congratulations. The Masterton Trophy goes to Bobby Ryan for his, really just inspirational effort to get back from rehab and then, coming back in that epic game where he scores the hat trick on his return. Just brilliant stuff, and best of luck to Bobby Ryan moving forward with obviously, dealing with, demons like what he has with alcoholism and any sort of addiction, any sort of substance or element that hampers you down spiritually, mentally, and psychologically and everything else. It's tough. It's a continuing journey, and it's not just going to stop after one, trophy. It's a constant struggle. And I remember Robin Lehner in the NHL award ceremony last year in Las Vegas saying, something along the lines of that. And I think that's very true. And so for me, and I'm pretty sure from all, the hockey fans around, the United States and around Canada and wherever, they're wishing you the best, Bobby, and all those who are, still going through it, still struggling with whatever. So keep at it, man. Keep fucking at it. And you know what's going to keep at it? The conference finals, man. So as I'm recording this right now, both the Eastern and Western Conference Finals have played game ones, just game ones. And so I'm going to talk about those respective game ones from those two conferences. So in the Eastern Conference Final, you had the Tampa Bay Lightning just, just destroying the New York Islanders in game one, 8-2. Now, this is the craziest part about this game. This game was out of hand by the damn near end of the first period. I believe the score was up 3-1 in favor of Tampa Bay Lightning. And Thomas Greiss, who was actually playing in game 7 against the Philadelphia Flyers, was pulled from the net after he allowed 3 goals. And Varlamov goes in, and it's not any better. It's not any better. Tampa Bay Lightning completely dismantled this New York Islanders team in game 1. And you begin to wonder, you really begin to wonder, oh man, is John Cooper and the gang, and the Bolts, are they finally nutting the fuck up? Are they finally playing up to their potential after getting just absolutely embarrassed last season, round 1, as President's Trophy winners, as winners of the regular season, right? Relatively speaking, as regular season winners, who has done it in historical fashion, they got swept in the first round. This is a completely mentally different team, and maybe Stamkos not being there has something to do with it. I'm just saying, kids, maybe Stamkos not being in the lineup, maybe because of the fact that he's injured, there are other players stepping up and bringing it big. I mean, someone like Braden Point is becoming that key guy. Palat is another guy I look at. Shout out to a cat like Shattenkirk over there in Tampa, just doing the fucking business all throughout this bubble. And for the Islanders, I mean, game 2 has to be very simple, right? Play some fucking defense. I mean, they've been pretty good about it with Barry Trotz, but this rendition of the Bolts has been very impressive to watch. And I'm very curious to see what happens in game 2, but the Islanders would hate to be you. The 8 and the 2 and the little clever fucking numbers and lettering. That's right, motherfuckers. My brain can play big at times. Although, my brain's also stupid. And stupid me thought in game 1, the Vegas Golden Knights would lay it thick against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final, but no. The Dallas Stars choked the shit out of the Vegas Golden Knights in a 1-0 win. Where that one fucking goal happens 2.5 minutes into the first period, and no other fucking goals happen after that. And Dallas played the Vegas Golden Knights in such a suffocating fashion, in such a physical way, in such a fucking blinding fast speed that it was frustrating. As a Golden Knights fan, you were just watching this whole thing transpire in game 1 and thinking, man, these guys have got you by the balls. You can't do shit right now. This is awful. I mean, there were pockets within that game where the Vegas Golden Knights were trying to answer back, but problem was Vegas just couldn't pass Dallas's defense, and if they did, Khudobin was right there. And tonight, just a few, puck is going to drop between the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars for game 2. And my initial feeling is that the Vegas Golden Knights will play much better, obviously, than game 1. And I think the key thing is going to be, if the Vegas Golden Knights score within the first 10 minutes of the first period and they can carry that momentum off into the first intermission without conceding any goal, or maybe adding a goal, I think the Vegas Golden Knights can win 4-2, maybe 4-1. But it's going to take the entire team's effort. I mean, maybe game 7 between the Vancouver Canucks and Vegas was such an emotional, fart that it's hard to stomach back up. So hopefully Vegas can get it going in game 2, and we'll see you guys at the end of that game, and on the YouTube on the fucking review shit. Goddamn time, motherfuckers. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The NHL is a fucking great time right now, man. The fucking playoffs are fantastic, but then you have the woke league of Chinese basketball. I'm not gonna lie to you, kids. Haven't been watching. Have not watched a single game of woke league of Chinese basketball since that overtime game between the Clippers and Luka Doncic, where Luka drained that game-winning three. Just buzzer beater, beautiful stuff. But yeah, in my mind, there's no fucking point in watching the woke league of Chinese basketball. It's absolutely fucking useless in my eyes. Just watching what happens between box scores, stats in each matchups and series. And I gotta tell you, the Miami Heat being up 3-1 against the Milwaukee Bucks is fascinating, because in Game 4, Giannis leaves the game injured. Bucks somehow win it. Managed to not get swept. Game 5, it is all but confirmed that Giannis is not going to play, and you're only delaying the inevitable. Maybe the Bucks can lose it in 6, but it feels like Game 5 is just going to be that ultimate stamp to just, blast the Milwaukee Bucks out. And maybe from this, Giannis is gone. Giannis is probably gone. And why would you be surprised if that happens? Where will he go? That is the fucking perfect question. Golden State Warriors? Miami Heat? Toronto Raptors? No, not the Lakers. That's not gonna fucking happen, jackass. You really think so? Lakers are fucking stuck with goddamn veterans and assholes. Giannis isn't gonna go there. But when you speak of the Raptors, I mean, they were able to rally up, being down 2-0, tied the series 2-2, but now within Game 5, Boston Celtics takes the lead, the 3-2 up on fucking Toronto, and you would think Game 6, Toronto's just going to bring it their all, because it's win or go home, and I'm hoping the series goes to 7. I would love to see the series go to 7, and I think a matchup between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics will be great for the Eastern Conference Final. You have history, you have a lot of animosity between the fans, and just a great matchup all around between players. But we're going to see how these games and series finish. And in the Western Conference, you have the Clippers taking on the Denver Nuggets, and the Clippers are up 2-1. The Denver Nuggets seem like a team that has all the firepower, but they just don't know how to finish. They just don't know how to close out. And what's worse is at times that the Nuggets have a tendency to just give up late in the third quarter when shit doesn't really go their way, when they feel like they're getting blown out. And it's not, empirically sound or logical to think that, you feel like you're going to get blown out. No, there's still, so much fucking time left, between the third and the fourth quarter. Like, what the fuck are you fucking giving up for now? But there's a tendency for teams to do that. I mean, honestly, the Lakers are one of the guiltiest of that shit. And I'm a Lakers fan. I can admit that. I can admit that flat out. The Lakers, I recall in Game 1 against the Houston Rockets, they basically gave up during the start of the fourth quarter. And, Game 2, there's more effort there, right? But being tied with the Houston Rockets 1-1 means nothing to me. It means no real form of frustration nor anger nor satisfaction. It's just get on to the next fucking game. I don't really give a fucking shit what you do in round 2, because none of this shit matters until you actually get to the final and win. That's such a cynical way of looking at it. If you're a fucking Lakers fan, okay, and you're worried about game to game, and how everything is, we should be worried about this. No, we should just be worried about the series and how they fucking finish. That's really it. If they lose, they fucking lose. And just shun them out. But ultimately, it's about the championship. There's nothing else there. I swear to God, with the Lakers, I mean, for me, emotionally, there's nothing there right now. I can't watch these fuckers. They're unbearable. I mean, with your uneducated asses, you're just fucking spewing nonsense, and you want me to fucking buy into that shit? Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut your fucking mouth. You know what's crazy? I'd rather watch regular season of MLB baseball than playoff woke league of Chinese basketball right now. That's some shit. That is some shit. And you know what I noticed with the MLB? because I've only really focused on the Dodgers, and I only watch the Dodgers, to be fair. That's just my fucking focus with baseball. But when you look outside and you read into standings and all this shit, and obviously, the AL isn't a league that I really pay attention to, but when you look at shit like that, it's like, whoa, hold on now. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Oakland Athletics, the Chicago White Sox, they are the top tier fucking teams in the AL. Blows my fucking mind. And of course, respect to those fans who's been hanging around. Respect to the fucking diehards who are going to be able to explain that shit out flat out. But unbelievable stuff. Unreal. Topsy-turvy kind of fucking year. Kudos to the Toronto Blue Jays too. Got the boy Hyunjin Ryu and Ross Stripling down there. So good shit all around. And, it's just kind of this uncertainty and the randomness that gets people excited in sports. And in the realm of football, the Premier League is just really becoming this mecca of football in modern day football right now. Everton signing James Rodriguez, former Colombian sensation, James Rodriguez. And let's be fair, he hasn't really been at that apex level that he was in 2014. James Rodriguez is signed up with Everton, and which means he is going to link up with Carlo Ancelotti again. Ancelotti was has been a huge fan of James Rodriguez for quite some time, and linking up with him in Real Madrid, also in Bayern Munich, and now in Everton. And to me, I mean, this kind of uncertainty within the Premier League is awesome, where any given fucking year, any given match day, I mean, who the hell knows? Everton can beat, defending champions Liverpool, right? Or Manchester City can lose to a newly promoted club like Brentford. And this is the Premier League, baby. And for me, a very notable team in my mind over the transfer window, and I think can really make their stamp this season, is Chelsea. Bringing guys like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. You also got that really fucking solid left back from Leicester City. I forget his fucking name, but he's absolutely brilliant too from what I've seen from Leicester game clips. Chelsea seems like that team that can really push themselves over the edge. And Frank Lampard is, despite his arrogance, probably one of the better young coaches out there right now. So I expect Chelsea to do big things this season. And I'm saying that even as an Arsenal fan who despises Chelsea. But I'm a football fan, and I can appreciate talent and understand, what managers, coaches, and people have up in the personal department, trying to cook up, shit for the football club. So kudos to them. And, speaking of Arsenal, what's my expectation for them? Like I said, I think realistically Arsenal is probably going to reach either 7th to 8th place. And they're hoping that, hey, Europa League, maybe get into semifinal, maybe win that shit if you can, if you have the depth and, willpower to do so. But I think the dream would be a top 4 spot. But I think, honestly, with what we have within the club, you're probably looking at 7th or 8th. And plus, it's not to be cynical, right? Overly cynical, but when you look at everyone around the Premier League right now, everyone else has gotten better. It's not the typical top 6 anymore. Leicester can get in there. Wolves can get in there. Hell, Sheffield United was asking the fucking spot all season long last season. And who the hell knows? Maybe someone like Brentford, Fulham, or even West Bromwich Albion can, contest for that spot. You just never know. So for me, I think because of that and because of what Arsenal has met with up in the past and just based on their whole fucking football culture, which is just a goddamn drag at times, I think realistically they're going to be either 7th or 8th. That's just me. That's just me, kids. But Arsenal is Arsenal. But random news about Arsenal that I want to finish off with here, boys and girls. Arsenal's own Hector Bellerin invests in lower tier English football club Forest Green Rovers. Very, environment friendly club. I think it's one of the few or first clubs that just purely like climate change involved. And so Good shit. And funny enough, I actually played that team on FIFA 19 for manager mode, where I love playing FIFA as a manager, like controlling a lower tier club. And right now at FIFA 20, I have a club called Wolfsburg. Is it Wolfsburg, right? W umlaut U R Z B U R B U R G. But I love the adventure of, elevating the squad to that next level, and that's what I did within FIFA 19 with Forest Green Rovers. And so, hey, kudos to Hector for being a partial owner, shareholder of the club now. So good shit all around in the world of sports ball, and ultimately, kids, balls in yo face. That's good. That's good. And on the next episode of the Sky Lounge, what's also going to be good is sports monogamy. That's right. We are going to explain the philosophy behind what I cheer my teams on for, my mentality behind it, and it's going to be a fun ride. It's a very updated version of what we're going to talk about. I mean, we talked about sports monogamy a lot, but 2K20. It's a weird year. It's a strange year, and it is a year of nuance, subtleties, and changes and other bullshit. So be on the lookout for that. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And until next time, kids, fuck off.